My name is Ulrich Gerhartz, and I work for Steinway & Sons. I did my apprenticeship in the factory in Hamburg, learning how to make pianos from scratch, and have devoted my life very much to Steinway & Sons ever since. I moved from Steinway Hamburg to Steinway London in 1990 and specialized very early on, from 1992 onwards, in performance pianos. And performance pianos are a very different kettle of fish from normal domestic pianos. They are on stage, they're there to deliver for artists and for audience. And here I am with one of my babies, one of 12 concert grands that are part of this Steinway London concert fleet, specially selected, prepared, and then shipped out here to the White Rock Theatre to look after the pianists and be a partner for the pianists for this competition. Over the years, I've looked after many piano competitions. Here in the UK, the main ones are the Leeds Piano Competition and also the Dublin International Piano Competition. They're all piano competitions where the main part of the competition is solo piano, so pianist and piano on stage on their own. And then only the final rounds are the concerto rounds where the pianist and the piano, very often a concerto piano rather than a recital piano, will meet with the orchestra. Here in Hastings it's very different because in the first rounds you have basically the orchestra being a piano and then the soloist playing the piano as a solo instrument accompanied by another grand piano, which is the orchestra. So it's very important when you select pianos for such a competition that you have a well-matched pair of instruments, which one of the main criteria is that they are roughly the same age, because if you take one piano that is sort of 1,000,000 years old and a brand new one, it'll never match. So it's important that the pianos are of the same generation. And the two pianos I sent here to Hastings are piano serial number 502 and 388. They are two of my youngest pianos out of the fleet of pianos that I have. And one is very much a piano that I would use for chamber music recitals, a warmer sound, a warm supporting bass. And the piano I'm currently working on, that's the solo piano 502, which has to really be able to deliver both in pianissimo and fortissimo to compete with the orchestra, be heard clearly. And both pianos, I think, have done very well. I had no complaints. And it's one of the strengths of Steinway & Sons that we have the amount of instruments to cater for all this. Because if you have one piano, then you can't do this sort of thing. We have a whole number of pianos and a team of people looking after them. And here in Hastings, it's not just the two concert grands that we sent here to the White Rock Theatre, but also the rehearsal pianos. They were all prepared in London before they came. And then we had Julian Dandy here to look after first round, second round, and then I took over and I'll give the piano a little bit of tender loving care before the big final rounds and catch up with my friends and see how they are faring. If you compare how these pianos are used here in the competition, compared with a normal setup in a concert venue where you go to a concert and you have a piano concerto in the first half and then a symphony in the second half, so you have one use of the piano for one concerto. Yesterday, in the first day of the semi-finals, we had 6 piano concertos and 1 concert, which is very unusual. It's important that the piano is able to produce a good sound for Mozart, as well as a good sound for Beethoven, as well as then for the romantic concertos, a bigger sound for different repertoire. And that's, again, one of the really, really strong points of the Steinway piano, that it can deliver the character. And it's really down to the pianist to find their sound on the piano. So the piano just offers a palette of sound and dynamics, and the pianist can then use them to make music. One of the interesting things in piano competitions is that you have one piano on stage and one after the other different pianists play that piano. And every time there will be a different sound. If I listen to competitors perform in any piano competition, I actually listen to what kind of sound they're making on a piano I know intimately. And if they are able to find a good sound, then I know they know how to play the piano. So that's a very big tick for me. And yesterday we had a prime example. We had 6 competitors and 6 different sounds with the same piano. So it is really a skill of a pianist to bond with the piano and find the right levels of sound that they want and find the individual touch in order to deliver musically what they want to say. What people forget is that pianos are machines, really. They're musical instruments, but they are very complex machines. You can see here, that's just the mechanics. So that's almost the engine of the piano. It's the keyboard that gives the pianist access to the sound case of the piano. And I'm currently looking through the repetitions because the weather here is very humid. So humidity is going up, which affects, of course, the movement of the parts within the action. So I'm looking at friction points so that the hammer responds very fast on repetition, which of course we need for the competition. The main work done on pianos is mechanical work, where you work on the keyboard to make sure that the keyboard works evenly, allowing the pianist from bass to treble to get the same dynamics in left hand and right hand. And then secondly is the whole voicing and tuning. So of course the piano has to be in tune, which is the biggest challenge, in particular in round 1, round 2, when the piano is played one after the other, and it shouldn't go out of tune for any of the competitors. So preparation of the tuning and stable tuning is absolutely crucial, which is why we, as a team looking after these pianos within Steinway, of which Julian Dandy is one as well, we work all hand in hand to make sure that these pianos are best prepared in tune. And then preparation that is done before the piano comes here is the whole tonal preparation, that the character of the sound is the right character and that the sound is very evenly balanced from bass to treble, with of course the brief that the piano is used for use with an orchestra rather than a solo instrument. So it's a very different brief from having a piano that sits in a small hall playing chamber music to a piano that is used with symphony orchestra. And all the preparation throughout the competition is really to get the piano sounding at its best all the time. And it's a bit like I compared with an athlete preparing for a race. You constantly prepare yourself and you eat in the right order so that when you go on track, you're in your best condition. And that's exactly what we are doing as well with these pianos, that when they land on stage to an important concert or competition, they're as best prepared as possible. Steinway & Sons is an incredible company. We celebrated our 170th anniversary last year. So we are a maker that has continuously made pianos for all these years. And right from the start, we made pianos where we did never compromise on quality. And we always built pianos that were meant to go on stage. And we always work with artists. And even today, we have a big family of Steinway artists, of which we had a very important one at Fairlight Hall, Mitsuko Chida, twice to pay a fundraiser for this competition. And they are, of course, our toughest quality control, because if you put a piano in front of a high-class, important VIP artist, the piano is no good, you will know it. So for me, the best proof that Steinway is the best piano, I would not be working in this profession if I wouldn't work for Steinway. Because even if a Steinway is slightly older or had been neglected, you will always get a result. And I think the same counts for pianists. Pianists will always find sound within a Steinway piano, and that is where the Steinway piano is totally unique. It gives, as I said before, a palette of sound and dynamics, and it projects it into a venue. And it is also, and that one has to say as well, is very reliable, because if you have a great piano but it breaks down every 5 minutes, it's no good to anybody. And again, it's a job of a lot of dedicated people to make these pianos perform. And I'm hugely proud of our team in London that makes it possible for us to deliver here for Hastings, and preparing these pianos, tuning them, looking after them. And what has also been very nice for me to see, in particular 2 years ago, what a difference it has been to Hastings that Steinway is involved providing the pianos for the competition. That reminds me, who always works on Steinway, actually how important Steinway is for reputation of an organization, of a concert hall, to have the best possible piano on stage. So why is Steinway & Sons and Steinway London in this case, really? Because it's not corporate Steinway, it's Steinway London, which of course is Steinway, supporting Hastings. I think the initial contact was made between Vanessa Latage and Ian Roberts with our general manager, Craig Terry, who will be joining us tomorrow. And it was clearly the wish driven by Ian and Vanessa to upgrade the pianos available for the Hastings competition, and Craig readily agreed, over lunch I should think, to do this. And then of course we got the brief to do all the work, getting the pianos ready, delivering the support, getting tuners here, and it was very nice because it is a huge effort and a huge cost and a huge responsibility that we take very seriously to take part. And it was, as I said, a really nice thing to see what an impact it had in Hastings that Steinway was there. My first visit to Hastings linked to the competition was a visit with Mitsuko Chida. I mentioned that before, at Fairlight Hall doing a fundraiser with a very different concert grant to this one here, where she played the most amazing recital in the hall of Fairlight Hall. And it was just a very nice experience for everybody. And of course, once you bond with people and you know what you're doing and you value what each party does to make it happen, then of course it's a much more organic thing to be part of it. And me, as well as Julian, really were looking forward to coming back to Hastings to take part in this competition. And long may it last is all I can say.